Chapter 1. The Christmas Shadow. It was Christmas Eve in the small, snow-covered town of Pineville. The streets were quiet, and the homes were lit up with festive lights. Emily, a curious and brave 10-year-old, was especially excited for Christmas. But this year was different. Her parents had to work late, and she was alone at home. As the clock struck midnight, Emily heard a strange noise outside. It wasn't the jolly sound of sleigh bells, but a soft, eerie whisper that seemed to call her name. She peeked out of her window, expecting to see carolers, but the street was empty. The only thing she noticed was a strange shadow moving across the snow, too big to be a person's, and too silent to be an animal. Feeling both scared and curious, Emily decided to investigate. She put on her coat, grabbed a flashlight, and stepped outside into the cold, moonlit night. Chapter 2. Exploration and Mystery. Emily stepped cautiously into the cold, her breath forming small clouds in a frosty air. The moon was high, casting a silvery glow over the snowy streets of Pineville. She clutched her flashlight tightly, its beam dancing over the snow-covered ground as she followed the mysterious shadow. The shadow seemed to glide rather than walk, moving with an eerie grace that made Emily's heart race. She noticed peculiar footprints in the snow, unlike any she had seen before. They were too large to belong to any animal she knew, and too irregular to be human. The footprints led toward the old forest at the edge of town, a place children were often told to avoid. As Emily ventured deeper, the familiar sights of her neighborhood gave way to the dark, dense trees of the forest. The night sounds seemed louder here, and every snap of a branch under her feet echoed through the silence. She felt a chill that wasn't just from the cold, the sense of being watched, of not being alone. Despite her fear, Emily's curiosity pushed her forward. The shadow continued to move ahead of her, always just out of reach, always just a shape in the periphery of her vision. She called out, asking who was there, but her voice was swallowed by the vastness of the night. Suddenly, the shadow stopped near an old, gnarled tree. Emily approached slowly, her flashlight beam landing on something half buried in the snow. It was an old book, its cover worn, and its pages yellowed with age. She picked it up, dusting off the snow, and opened it to find tales of Pineville's history and legends, including one that sent a shiver down her spine. The legend of the Christmas shadow. Just then, a soft whisper floated through the air, and the shadow seemed to beckon her deeper into the forest. Emily knew she was about to uncover something long forgotten, something that the town of Pineville had whispered about in hushed tones for generations. Chapter 3. Discovery of an old legend. With the ancient book in hand, Emily ventured further into the forest, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and excitement. The shadow continued to lead her, its form becoming clearer in the moonlight. It seemed to be guiding her to a specific destination. As she walked, she stumbled upon a small, hidden clearing. There, under the light of the moon, stood Mr. Jacobs, the town's oldest resident, known for his vast knowledge of Pineville's history and legends. He looked at Emily with a mixture of surprise and concern. "Emily, what are you doing here in the middle of the night?" he asked in a voice weathered by time. Emily, still clutching the book, told him about the mysterious shadow and how she had followed it into the forest. Mr. Jacobs's eyes widened with recognition as he listened. "You've encountered the Christmas shadow," he said in a hushed tone. "It's a legend that's been passed down in Pineville for generations. Every 50 years, on Christmas Eve, it is said to appear, searching for something lost, something precious." Emily's eyes grew wide with curiosity. "What is it searching for, Mr. Jacobs?" "The legend speaks of an ancient Christmas bell," Mr. Jacobs explained. "It belonged to the founder of Pineville, a man who loved Christmas more than anything. The bell was said to have magical properties, bringing joy and peace to anyone who heard its ring. But one Christmas, it vanished, and since then, every 15 years, the Christmas shadow emerges, searching for this lost bell." Emily felt a chill run down her spine. "Do you know where the bell is now?" she asked eagerly. Mr. Jacobs nodded slowly. "The last time a bell was seen, it was in the old abandoned church on the outskirts of town. But beware, Emily. The church has long been forgotten, and who knows what secrets it holds." Determined to find the bell and uncover the truth, Emily thanked Mr. Jacobs and headed towards the old church, her mind racing with thoughts of the legend and the adventure that lay ahead. The shadow seemed to urge her on, leading her towards a destiny intertwined with the heart of Pineville's mysterious past. Chapter 4: The Lost Artifact. Emily's journey to the old church was filled with a mix of trepidation and wonder. The church, a relic from Pineville's earliest days, stood at the edge of town, its spire silhouetted against the moonlit sky. Its doors were weathered, and the windows were boarded up, a testament to years of neglect. As she approached, the Christmas shadow seemed to hover near the church's entrance, as if urging her to go inside. Emily pushed open the creaking doors and stepped into the church. Her flashlight pierced the darkness, revealing dust-covered pews and an altar draped in shadows. The legend Mr. Jacobs had shared echoed in her mind. The ancient Christmas bell, lost for decades, was said to be hidden somewhere within these walls. It was not just a symbol of holiday cheer, but a relic believed to hold the power to bring peace and joy to the heart of the beholder. Emily began her search, her eyes scanning the dim interior for any sign of the bell. The church was silent except for her footsteps and the occasional rustle of wind through the broken windows. She felt a strange sense of being guided, the shadow's presence never far, leading her deeper into the mystery of the lost artifact that had captivated the imagination of Pineville for generations. Chapter 5. Journey to the Church. Emily's heart raced as she made her way to the old church, the Christmas shadow silently floating beside her. The moon hummed low in the sky, casting a ghostly glow over the snow-laden path. The old church, a forgotten relic of Pineville's past, loomed ahead, its tall spire piercing the night sky. The once grand church now stood desolate, a stark contrast to the warmth and joy of the festive season. Its wooden doors were aged and warped, the paint peeling off in large flakes. Vines climbed its stone walls, and the stained glass windows, though dusty and broken, still hinted at the beauty they once held. As Emily approached the church, an eerie silence enveloped her. The playful whispers of the wind ceased, and a world seemed to hold its breath. She pushed against the heavy church doors, her small frame barely enough to open them. A musty, stale air greeted her, filled with the scent of old wood and forgotten memories. Inside, the church was shrouded in darkness, save for the moonlight filtering through the broken windows. The wooden pews were coated with a thick layer of dust, and cobwebs hummed like delicate curtains from the ceiling. Emily's flashlight beam cut through the darkness, revealing faded murals and a cracked altar. She ventured further, her footsteps echoing through the vast, empty space. Every shadow seemed to dance and shift, playing tricks on her eyes. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the occasional creak of the old floorboards under her feet. As she explored, Emily's thoughts turned to the legend of the Christmas bell. It was said to possess a power to bring peace and joy, lost in this very church. Her eyes searched every corner, every hidden nook. The shadow, her silent companion, seemed to guide her, leading her towards a hidden part of the church, where the secrets of the past lay waiting to be uncovered. The journey through the church was not just a physical one, but a journey through time, unraveling a mystery. Chapter 6. Confrontation with the shadow. In the church's deepest chamber, Emily encountered the Christmas shadow. The mysterious figure loomed before her, its form more defined, yet ethereal. Heart pounding, Emily stepped forward. The shadow, no longer fleeting, mirrored her movements, its presence both unsettling and familiar. A silent communication passed between them, a shared understanding. The shadow's essence seemed sorrowful, lost. Emily realized it wasn't there to frighten her, but to seek help in finding the bell. As this realization dawned, the shadow gestured towards a hidden alcove, leading her to the long-lost artifact, the key to unraveling the mystery of the Christmas shadow. Chapter 7. The Bell's Power and Resolution. Guided by the Christmas shadow, Emily discovered the hidden alcove. There, amidst layers of dust and cobwebs, sat the ancient Christmas bell. It was smaller than she had imagined, yet its surface shimmered with an ethereal glow under her flashlight. Trembling with a mix of awe and excitement, Emily reached out and gently rang the bell. A melodious chime filled the air, pure and resonating, cutting through the silence of the church. The sound seemed to weave magic around her, the atmosphere pulsating with warmth and light. As the bell's chime echoed, the shadow began to transform. It grew brighter, its edges becoming less defined, turning into a soft, glowing light. The spirit of the Christmas shadow revealed itself, the soul of a kind-hearted person from Pineville's past, who had loved Christmas with all their heart, but had tragically passed away before they could celebrate one final time. The ringing of the bell fulfilled a long-awaited wish, allowing the spirit to find peace. With the resolution of the shadow's story, a sense of tranquility descended upon the church. The spirit, now at peace, faded away into the night, leaving behind a sense of serenity and a faint echo of the bell's chime. Emily stepped out of the church as dawn broke, the first light of Christmas Day casting a golden hue over the town. She returned home, her heart filled with a newfound understanding and appreciation of the spirit of Christmas. Her adventure had brought not just an end to the legend of the Christmas shadow, but had also ignited a joyous spirit within her, one that she would cherish every Christmas hereafter. Chapter 8. A Happy Ending. Emily arrived home as the first rays of the Christmas morning sun gilded the snow-covered streets of Pineville. Her parents greeted her with worried but relieved smiles. As she shared her incredible adventure and the resolution of the Christmas shadow's legend, their home filled with warmth and wonder. That Christmas was more joyful and meaningful than any before. The town of Pineville, too, seemed brighter, as if the peace from the old church had spread through its streets. Emily's bravery and the magical chime of the ancient bell had not only solved a long-standing mystery, but had also brought a renewed spirit of love and unity to her community, making this a truly unforgettable Christmas.